Since Operation Identification first began 3 years ago, Texas State University has received the remains of nearly 200 presumed migrants. As you can see, the temperature on the thermometer reads over 130 degrees with the doors open in this trailer. Now imagine being stuck in here with dozens of other people and the doors closed. These are a few out of the thousands of trees that will be cut down for the construction of the border wall. This will affect more than just the wildlife here at the National Butterfly Center. The next time you have an aluminum can in your hands and don't know whether to throw it away or recycle it, the Environmental Protection Agency says one can help save enough energy to power up your TV for 2 hours. One of the things pilots have to take in consideration when flying is the heat, as it can affect the performance of the helicopter. Adriana, the police is asking for the public's help to find 3 suspects involved in an aggravated robbery last week here in this neighborhood. Forensic anthropologists and students from Texas State and the University of Indianapolis will have their hands full in the upcoming months. They'll be trying to identify more than 20 exhumed remains of unidentified migrants that were dug out from the Sacred Heart Burial Park in Falfurrias over the past week.
They were buried without any identification efforts. DNA samples were not taken, and that's why they had to be exhumed, and that's why they came here, so that we can actually follow the law and put forth our best scientific effort at identifying someone.
Once the remains get to the labs at Texas State University, they get cleaned up, and forensic anthropologists begin to build a biological profile to start the identification process. Afterwards, they work with governmental and non-governmental organizations and exchange information that can lead to an identification. It can be a tough job, but rewarding.
It's very difficult, and sometimes it's emotionally draining, but at the end of the day, you know that you're doing good work. You are trying to figure out who people are, change them from just a number on a box to a name, and get them back to their loved ones and give them closure.
Texas State University has nearly 200 remains of unidentified migrants, and they'll be traveling back to Falfurrias to dig up more.
We've been alerted to more areas in the cemetery that need to be investigated, so we ended up with more individuals than we expected this field season, and it does look like we're going to have to come back again to continue this project. Reporting in Brooks County, Jose Saenz, KVEO News Center 23. For years, the Air and Marine Operations Branch of Customs and Border Protection has helped keep the U.S. safe by assisting multiple law enforcement agencies. AMO helps make the work easier for other agencies like Border Patrol by monitoring the region in helicopters, planes, and boats. In the RGV, their workload has increased in recent years.
The work down here has increased over the last 10 years for Customs and Border Protection as it relates to national security and also drug trafficking and alien smuggling.
One of the biggest challenges AMO has in the region is dealing with the heavy traffic and trying to adapt to the challenges of other agencies as well.
There's so much traffic going on, sometimes you have to prioritize the requests, and the number one request is national security. We got to make sure where national security is covered. Officer safety, we got to make sure officer safety is covered. We're always adapting to the changes that Border Patrol faces as well, and that's smugglers using technology against us, and we're trying to always overcome those too.
One of the things pilots have to take in consideration when flying is the heat, as it can affect the performance of the helicopter and their health.
When you're flying hours and hours a day and you're out there in the sun wearing these are fire retardant flight suits and helmets and gloves and everything and boots, it's pretty hot.
One thing most agents agree on is that working for AMO is a rewarding experience. Reporting in McAllen, Jose Saenz, KVEO News Center 23.
Generally, we find them without water. Like I said, there's no ventilation in the back, and you don't know how long it's been since they were put into the trailer by the time that we see them.
What Border Patrol agent Robert Gilloon was describing here are the times he's caught smugglers and found people in the back of trailers.
In some situations, they are concealed amongst cargo, whether it be pallets with fruit on it or boxes or tires or anything like this. Sometimes they're just in a trailer but with nothing else in there. Sometimes they're refrigerated trailers, sometimes they aren't.
But when people are put in a trailer that's not refrigerated, the temperatures can start causing them health problems. That's something Border Patrol agents are prepared for.
We come in and we check the temperature, and of course if they need medical assistance right away, we have our EMTs evaluate them, we take them and get them checked out. And we just go process the case and go from there.
As you can see, the temperature on the thermometer reads over 130 degrees with the doors open in this trailer. Now imagine being stuck in here with dozens of other people and the doors closed.
The smugglers who put people in these trailers have no regard for human life. the conditions inside those trailers with the heat, the lack of ventilation, and the amount of time that they're kept in there, nobody should have to go through that. I would stress to anybody considering it that it's dangerous and is not worth the risk.
The message to me for those that are already here to advise their family members, either in Mexico or Central America, to just stay there. The days are extremely hot, and they're not being taken care of the way they should.
The Berks County Sheriff adds he's working with Border Patrol and other agencies to prevent another situation like the one in San Antonio. In Falfurrias, Jose Saenz, KVEO News Center 23. Restoring some of the valley's native habitat has never been more important than it is today. The RGV is home to only 5% of native vegetation. For groups like the Valley Proud Environmental Council and the Friends of the Wildlife Corridor, that 5% is not nearly enough. So they decided to take the initiative to preserve what's left of the native habitat and restore some of the lost land.
In the past 25 years, we have planted 237,000 seedlings. So we have created habitat for 25 years now in 670 acres of the Rio Grande Valley, and we want to continue this.
This past Saturday, these groups partnered up with the City of FAR and the Lower Rio Grande Valley National Wildlife Refuge to celebrate the 25th annual Rio Reforestation event. More than 1,500 volunteers showed up to restore 23 acres of native habitat by planting more than 15,000 native plants of 20 different species.
We're facing a lot of restoration challenges. So definitely having the kids and all these families, experiencing all this, it's a big thing for us.
Many of the volunteers who showed up were teenagers and kids, and they say right now is the best time to take action and save the environment.
Overall, in the world, we just gotta plant and plant and plant, because if like the trees go out, then we'll go. I think it's like a huge key to like just keep bringing the generations of trees.
It's kind of like for the next generation, because what the past generations have done, they might have hurt the environment. It's our job to save the environment for the future.
The event has such a positive impact on some of the kids who attended that they've also volunteered to do some planting at their school.
They loved it, even though they say it's hard work, even though they said it was sunny and hot, but they loved it. And now what we're going to do, we just got committed with our district, and we're going to start planting our own garden, vegetable garden at our campus. So they love it. They can't hardly wait.
Reporting in FAR, Jose Saenz, KVEO News Center.